All right, so recently there's been a lot of discussion and debate about this hypothetical scenario of 100 men taking on one silverback gorilla. And people have diverse opinions. Like, there are people who are on the human side, people who are on the gorilla side, people that have insane strategies that probably wouldn't work. Like, for example, everyone trying to pile up on the gorilla, that wouldn't work. I don't see a way that many people could find a way to get on the gorilla without falling off. Like, maybe one gets on and falls off immediately, and then the next one, like, it's kind of hard to get like five guys up on the gorilla, that seems improbable. If you look at the stats between, like, comparing the strongest man on earth and the average gorilla, the gorilla wins in every round in terms of bench press, in terms of punch strength. Not to mention that gorillas have insane bite strength. They probably wouldn't kick, but I mean, they wouldn't need to. But anyways, here's the solution, right? Here's the actual way that not even 100 men can win, but like, let's say 25 or like 15 every time. I think they would win every time. Now, the idea obviously is that humans have no access to weapons, because if they did, then it would be like 3 men against the gorilla would win, right? If you have like a spear, or, well, if you have a gun, it could just be one person, right? It could be like a child even. So it's not like a fair fight. The idea is that humans have no access to tools, right? Now, obviously, if it's in nature, you could pick up a rock. And again, it's the same thing. Like, if you're in a place that has rocks, then men would win, right? Like, pretty much 100% of the time. Because they could just, like, throw them from a distance or, like, climb. I don't know. It'd be harder, right, if they don't have like a sharp weapon, if they just have blunt objects, but it wouldn't be too hard. It's a tool, after all. It's a resource. So the idea is then that there's no access to anything. So it's like a cage fight, or like maybe you could take, like, I don't know, some random location that has absolutely nothing, like a blank box that's indestructible, and so that's where the fight would take place, right? So according to my theory, humans would still be able to win, even if it's a really strong gorilla. Like, that's the thing. First, I was thinking, if you take like the oldest, weakest, like a disabled gorilla, and like 100 of the strongest men, then it'd be simpler, right? It'd be an easy win almost. But obviously, the idea is to think that you can have average men and average gorillas obviously overpower the average man if it's in a scenario where men have no access to spears or like anything. But here's the thing, all right? Here's the reason why humans would win. Well, I mean, it has a few caveats. So the first one is that obviously everyone has to be engaged in the fight, right? It's almost like in the old times, where old civilizations, where dying in war would be like ascending to Valhalla. It's like glorifying the fight, and it's an honorable death if you die on the battlefield, right? So if you get that mentality, then that's what you need, right? Obviously, if the men are scared to fight the gorilla, then there's no winning, right? They'd probably try to like run away. They wouldn't be able to win that. So that's really all you need, right? The men involved have to be committed to the fight. The gorilla would probably get pissed off no matter what, right? If you like beat on your chest, that'd be like enough of a reason for it to come charging at you. All right, so here's the thing, and it's pretty messed up, but I think it has a pretty high rate of effectiveness. So basically what would happen is the first, let's say, 3 to 5 men, or maybe even like the first 10, charge in. I don't think 10 men with no weapons and just their strength would be enough to even make a dent on the gorilla. If you see them charging at you and like doing a body strike of sorts, like just throwing their body weight at you, you're pretty much done for. Like, that would knock you out and probably kill you. But here's the thing, right? You'd have to approach the gorilla in a way that it would essentially try to break your limbs. Now, maybe you know where I'm going with this. right? But the idea is that after those, let's say 10 men went at the gorilla and had like their and lost, right? Essentially, they would all die. Like that's the point almost. That is the point. They have to die, and it has to be gruesome because what we want really is from those first 10 men, what we want is their limbs, all right? And this where the like this is the winning scenario. It's kind of like Doctor Strange. Like you need to lose in order to win, because once those first 10 men are defeated and their corpses are laying out on the battlefield, the next wave of men, it would be a coordinated effort where two groups would be split. One group has to distract the gorilla and possibly also die. But they have to distract the gorilla in a way that it moves away from the battlefield in a certain way so that the other group of men have access to the limbs of the dead men, of the corpses, right? And from there on, like you probably know what I'm getting at with this, which is like the group of men that's not distracting the gorilla would go get, let's say, a severed femur, or like I don't know, like a broken arm. Basically, just looking through all the corpses, looking through all the limbs, and finding sharp bones, right? And like, yeah, there you have it. There's the weapons. You could be fighting like in the middle of nowhere, where there's like no rocks, no sticks, nothing. But after all, you still have the men, right? And so their corpses become the weapons. And so if you have like, I don't know, 20 corpses, out of those 20 corpses, how many sharp limbs do you think you'd be able to find? At least 3 or 4 is really all you need. And then after that, the group that's distracting the gorilla would be getting killed, but the group that went for the limb weapons would have like a pretty easy advantage and could just strike the gorilla from behind, right? Like stab it in the back, stab it in the head. And after a couple of stabs, you could pretty much back off and just watch it bleed out. It'll probably be still mad and will have the energy to kill a few more men, like just due to the pure adrenaline and rage, but it'll bleed out after like 15 minutes, right? And then like in the meantime, you could just repeat the process in order to speed up the bleeding out. And that would pretty much do it, right? Like I don't think there's nothing wrong with the strategy. Like again, you have to have men that are committed to dying, but I think historically that's been something that's happened a lot, right? Like let's say these men are like in purgatory or in hell, and you have to kill the gorilla to escape hell. Then yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would commit to dying. So yeah, I think my takeaway is just give me like 30 men, and that should be enough. No matter if there's no tools, the corpses will become the tools, which is messed up. But I mean, at that point, like it's either using the corpses of your fellow warriors or dying. It's kind of like the Andes accident, right? Where those guys had to end up eating the flesh of their friends in order to survive. Like it's the same thing. I think I think it would even be cool. I mean, yeah, messed up, but in the context of the fight and in the need to survive, then that's the only way to do it. And I don't think anyone's talked about this so far. Everyone's saying swarm it, poke out its eyes, but this is the real way to do it. Maybe you would only need one person, right? It's like the one sacrifice. But really get the gorilla to like pummel that one person. And then afterwards, just get it to chase the rest around. And I mean, surely it will get distracted and pick up a few more corpses. But if the first guy gets really pummeled, then I'm pretty sure more than one of his bones will become a pretty useful tool. So you'd have like daggers for everyone. So yeah, I mean, that settles it, right? Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that's my take on it.